What's next is to shift our attention into the insights. So what exactly is going on in the B2B marketplace? What are customers expecting given the post-COVID and pre-COVID era? And most importantly, how are B2B leaders shaping up their organization to basically cater to these preferences? So this is a common, basically a summary of a couple of facts we might need to understand of our customers. So nowadays, customer preferences have changed given the ongoing pandemic in the country or the ongoing pandemic worldwide. As we see, basically, customer index scoring, B2B companies score very low in that. We're roughly averaging 50% comparing to a significant 65 to 85% from B2C. B2B leaders a couple of years ago were reluctant to change and address such issue given the complexity, or basically they perceive the complexity of the industry itself, the B2B industry being too complex to be able to cater to new customer preferences. However, the ongoing pandemic have shifted the whole outlook of such event. Nowadays, customers are strongly demanding a shift into an omni-channel offering. So the offering of digital and non-digital capabilities during the buying journey. As well, beside offering omni-channel capabilities, customers are expecting a customer-centric process. So the customer should be in the center, being able to, let's say, satisfy the desires, their needs in such marketplace. So from the customer point of view, yes, there is very strong change. The question is there the same amount of change from B2B leaders? So an interesting study done here by one of the leading consulting companies basically proves that yes, B2B companies have understood the implication of COVID, have understood preferences have changed, and hence they are taking action to follow an omni-channel approach in this case. If you clearly look in the graph, we can see whether we're talking about new customers or existing customers, B2B leaders, or 83% of B2B leaders, which is a huge amount, are believing now that omni-channel offering is a must in such environment and are basically adapting the organization to follow such process. Here we have a quick summary of what customers were like, what the preferences were when they were purchasing products from a business in 2019, so in the pre-COVID era. What's so surprising here is e-commerce, as we can tell from the order or reordering stage, e-commerce was not very dominant. So people prefer purchasing the product through a face-to-face interaction, which was the bulk of the sales being attributed to the company. So to summarize, e-commerce was not a dominant contributor to sales. Customer preferred browsing their products on the research and evaluation to have an idea of what the products are, their prices, but when it came to purchasing the product, it was not the option. Second of all, as we can tell as well, from the green box down in terms of the face-to-face interaction was heavily prized. It was very important to have a face-to-face interaction. Customers only believe in purchasing a product or researching a product or evaluating a product through a face-to-face interaction, thus eliminating the idea of having an omni-channel approach, which was not a necessity back in 2019. Fast forward to 2020, what we can tell from this exhibit, it reaffirms what the B2B leaders are being saying right now, the idea of offering an omni-channel capabilities. And yes, customers are expecting that. So finally, in 2020, even 2021, there is an alignment between what customers want and what B2B leaders want. And from this exhibit, we confirm what we just said right now, which is basically e-commerce is becoming a dominant part of transactions, being heavily experienced in the order and the reorder stage. Second of all, buyers have basically shouted and the needs are being met at this moment. So when I say about the needs, the preferences, they can now browse, research the product, evaluate the product, purchase the product through an offering of different digital and non-digital experience, basically. So hence an omni-channel presence in this market.
Yeah,
finally,
Ali, let me, can you go back to let me elaborate on this. This is what we call the ROPO effect, the research online and the purchase offline. And this is what we have noticed in a lot of our projects. When COVID started, we had to direct the efforts on when coming into structuring the sales organization and when coming to revamping the sales process, because we have seen that a lot of things, customers in the early stages are looking to do things by themselves with less interaction with the salespeople. And then when they move into putting the order, they still, especially in the B2B, they still need the salespeople, but definitely much lesser than before. And this is where you can optimize on the sales process. You can put, when Ali was talking about the e-commerce, It's not a matter of just the e-commerce that we talk about in the retail, but rather a digital platform for customers in the account management. They can do the research of the product more than the catalog. Online, we talk about that more into details in the cases. But what's important to look at is the robo effect. So things have changed even in the purchasing. There is a lot on the reordering. If you can see, it has dropped down drastically, the face-to-face thing with salespeople. So whenever we get the account, we in a good relationship with the account. So the reordering of the same products is easy, could be done digitally. It's a matter of the new orders for new products is more done with the salespeople. So there is a lot of things that we can eliminate and make the sales process or the customer process with the salespeople seamless, less friction and on the touch points.
That's 100% true. On top of that as well, this research was conducted based on a number of countries around the world. So this is applicable anywhere, whether we're talking in the Middle East, in Europe, in North America, it's applicable throughout the entire world. So there is a quick shift into an omni-channel necessity right nowadays.